Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to United Way Suncoast's first annual Rise and Shine Breakfast. Now, please welcome to the stage Tampa Bay's very own Miss Veronica Cintron.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. How's everybody feeling today? We are ready for an amazing program. By the way, that was a very fun introduction to our very own. It's like ownership there. It's interesting. All right. Well, I cannot tell you how honored and excited I am to be here with all of you today. Thank you for making your way back to the Rise and Shine breakfast benefiting the United Way Suncoast. Let's hear it for United Way this morning. This, of course, as you all remember, the event had to be postponed over Hurricane Ian. A lot of very tense moments surrounding that event, but we are so glad we were able to come together again here at Armature Works to celebrate the great work of the United Way Suncoast. I have to tell you, I am here not only as the very proud Vice President of Communications for Tampa International Airport, America's favorite, JD Power #1 in America, but I'm also a former United Way campaign chair. So a couple of years for us at the airport being campaign chair with my friend Brian Miles, our HR VP and our VP of operations. We produced a campaign not just to celebrate the great partnership of United Way with the airport, but to bring the community into the fun of raising funds for the great work we see happening in this community day in and day out. And that's how the Voice of TPA campaign was born. It was all because of our joint partnership with United Way Suncoast. And you may remember, this is a campaign letting anybody in the community to be a part of voicing the airport's iconic shuttles just with a $5 entry into this contest, with all funds going to the United Way. So this year in 2023, we're going into our third year of that campaign. And it's something we're really, really proud of. We like showcasing how we join hands with the United Way. How many of you have been able to participate in the 5K on the runway? Anybody here? It's coming in April? Yes. 5K on the runway is another one of our partnerships with United Way. Probably one of my favorite races in all of the Bay Area, because for the non-runner like me, you get to just walk and maybe you run and then you stop and you look at the pretty plains, and there's no pressure to be an athlete on this one, but it's a wonderful way to raise funds. And I'll tell you, it's campaigns like that that fortunately for us have been able to donate to the United Way more than $1.5 million over the years. So no doubt for us, our corporate partnership and our social responsibility and how we're able to step up for this organization is so, so important. I know that for each of you, of course, not just for TPA, the United Way Suncoast has a big, big role in your hearts, also as it relates to your corporate philanthropy. And that's why we cannot be more grateful for you to be here supporting us today. If you are new to United Way Suncoast, or you want more details on the work that they do, look no further than the QR codes on your bookmark. So if you look around your table, you have a little bookmark. There is a QR code where you can learn more about United Way Suncoast and the work they do to promote literacy, the cornerstone of their efforts and mission. But there's so much more being done that you're going to be learning a little bit more about this morning. We do want to take a moment before we carry on with our program, by the way, to recognize a few elected officials. So if you can please show some love this morning to County Commissioners Gwen Myers, Josh Wastel, and Harry Cohen joining us today. Thank you for being here. And right now, if you can all please join me in standing for the Pledge of Allegiance, and then we are going to be led in prayer by Dr. Sandra Bram, President and CEO of the Gulf Coast JFCS. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Isn't it strange that princes and kings and clowns that caper in sawdust rings and common people like you and me are builders for eternity? Each is given a bag of tools, a shapeless mass, a book of rules, and each must make, ere life is flown, a stumbling block or a stepping stone. Please bow with me. As we gather this morning, many people of many faiths, we gather to give thanks to the Almighty, the King of Kings, the great Jehovah, the healer, the giver of life, the ruler and super ruler of this beautiful earth and all that is within. We gather to celebrate and honor those who serve, those who lead with honor and integrity, those who courageously do your work of caring for the least of us, the hungry, the homeless, those who cannot help themselves. And we give thanks for Jessica Muroff, Angela Williams, and Alexia Savage, and the many leaders of the United Way Suncoast and worldwide. We are grateful for the many agencies who are supported by the United Way and carry out your will. We are collectively blessed. We thank you for the food that is before us, and we ask that you bless it and nourish our bodies. Though I speak with the tongues of men and angels and have not charity, I become a sounding brass or a tinkling cymbal. Let us not be tinkling cymbals, but builders of humanity. We ask all these things in your name. Amen.
Thank you. May please be seated. And thank you again, Dr. Bram, for your beautiful prayer. Now, my friends, it is my pleasure at this moment to introduce the United Way Suncoast Board Chair, Mr. Dave Pizzo. As the Florida Blue Market President for West Florida, Dave has not only established himself as an effective healthcare leader, but as a caring community person. Through organizations like the Tampa Bay Partnership, Live Tampa Bay, Pizzo advances workforce development, addresses substance abuse issues, promotes health equity, and tackles food insecurity. As board chair, Dave brings decades of experience as a supporter to the United Way Suncoast and United Way of Florida. It is my honor to welcome Mr. Dave Pizzo to the stage.
Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you so much, Veronica. We really appreciate the kind introduction and for all you do for Tampa International to support United Way Suncoast and the community. I have to say, they are such a creative group at the airport with the walk. Whoever thought that an airport could close down and you can walk on a runway? It's probably the only one in the country. I remember when that came about. It's awesome. They're starting to copy us. That happens a lot when you're Tampa Bay, right? In lots more ways than sports, too. So for more than 25 years, I've personally given my time, talent, and treasure to United Way overall and United Way Suncoast because I believe in the mission and the cycle of success it creates for community members. I'm very grateful to work for a company like Florida Blue, Blue Cross Blue Shield, that supports United Way in a very large way across the state and is also consistent with our mission of helping people and communities achieve better health. I've always worked to bring others to the cause, so it is my pleasure to thank our sponsors. First, our cornerstone sponsor. It's United Way's #1 leading corporate sponsor and a top sponsor for United Way Suncoast. Their employees work as hard to champion the cause as they do to make shopping a pleasure. Publix. Next, we have 3 gold sponsors. The first is a national leader among financial services firms and a supporter of United Way for more than 50 years. We're thrilled to continue having Raymond James on board as a longtime supporter. Let's hear it for that. Our second gold sponsor holds a storied history of support for United Way dating back to the organization's earliest days. And it's also the reason we have AC and electricity in the venue today. Thank you, Tico, for being a sponsor, especially when there's a hurricane here. Finally, our third gold sponsor ranks as one of the area's top financial institutions, and its commitment to supporting early learning initiatives and providing parental support for its employees aligns with United Way's Suncoast mission. Thank you, PNC Bank, for investing in our event today. United Way Suncoast thanks these and all of our sponsors today, and you can see on the screen now some of those great supporters. Your work allows this mission of United Way Suncoast to thrive. Thank you. Veronica?
Thank you so much, Dave. A man who proves the day, while it's 24 hours long, he feels like it's 48. His is very special, very busy in our community. Thank you for all you do, Dave. Bringing people together and resources to solve our community's issues and biggest challenges, no doubt, is no easy task. And talk about somebody who sure makes the most of their day, trying to make an impact with every hour. Fortunately, Jessica Muroff is up to the job. As president and CEO of United Way Suncoast, Jessica oversees not only United Way Suncoast's work in Hillsborough, Pinellas, Manatee, Sarasota, and DeSoto counties. She also brings together the community in over 99 nonprofit partners to create the multiplier effect that makes strong children, strong families, and strong neighborhoods. Jessica often says a strong United Way means a strong community. And of course, a strong community then also means a strong United Way. We are so fortunate that we have a very strong woman and friend leading the way. Please show some love and help me welcome CEO Jessica Muroff.
Thanks, Veronica, for that kind introduction. I'm not as tall as you are. And for all that you do to support us, especially at our very favorite airport, Tampa International Airport. For more than 25 years, okay, hold on, sorry. Okay, my goodness. I feel humbled when I hear my name and myself placed in the community that way, because it is not me. It is the United Way Suncoast who collectively does the work to strengthen our region, and so many of you in this room. So thank you for working together to make us stronger. We could not be here without your support. And our United Way worldwide community got stronger in October of 2021 when Angela F. Williams was named President and CEO of United Way Worldwide, the first Black woman to lead America's favorite charity. Angela has overseen the United Way network serving 48 million people across 37 countries each year. With more than 30 years of leadership experience in the nonprofit and corporate sectors, Angela brings her innovative vision and long history of purpose-driven work into her role at United Way Worldwide. Before joining United Way, Angela served as the president and CEO of Easter Seals, the nation's leading nonprofit provider for life-changing disability services. Angela has also served as executive vice president, general counsel, and chief administrative officer at the YMCA of the USA. She was also named Forbes' 2021 list of women 50 over 50 creating social change at scale, and was presented with a 2021 CEO Today Healthcare Award for her leadership. Angela was raised in a military family, which influenced her decision to serve on active duty in the U.S. Air Force Judge Advocate General's Corps, JAG, for more than 6 years after graduating from the University of Texas School of Law. Few Black women had previously served in the JAG Corps before, and that experience was fundamental and foundational to Angela's commitment to service. A native of Anderson, South Carolina, Angela earned a bachelor's degree in American government from the University of Virginia, a Juris Doctor from the University of Texas School of Law, and a Master of Divinity from the Samuel DeWitt Proctor School of Theology in Virginia Union University. She resides in Chicago with her husband, the Reverend Redrick Williams, and is a volunteer pastor at Chicago Apocalyptic Center. Please join me in welcoming to the stage our United Way Worldwide CEO, Angela Williams.
Well, good morning, everyone. It's so good to be here with you. And I keep saying this, but I love this venue. It's gorgeous. I think Tampa is blessed to have such a wonderful location to be able to gather, to celebrate, to see each other, to be connected. And I'm thankful that United Way Suncoast has enabled us all to be here today. So I want to just share a little bit more with you about United Way Worldwide, the great work that Jessica is doing here and her team at Suncoast. And my hope is that you leave here this morning inspired, ready to recommit, or if you're not committed, commit to United Way Suncoast. And then also to reflect on what more can you and I do as individuals as part of this wonderful community and this network of nonprofits all connected to United Way Suncoast. So I just want to say I'm just grateful to Jessica. I think she is an incredible leader, a fearless leader. You all are blessed to have her here in your community. I had the opportunity just before Christmas to come down here to meet with the staff and to say thank you for all of the hard work that the staff did and the stress they underwent while supporting this community during Hurricane Ian. And I must say that the staff of United Way Suncoast is also just amazing. So again, you all are very blessed in this community to have a very strong United Way, strong partnerships, and doing incredible work. I also want to thank our friends at Publix because, as you just heard, Publix is one of our wonderful partners, and of course, Raymond James. Thank you all for your support. I want to thank our corporate partners, major donors, community partners, board, and elected officials that are here. So can we just give a round of applause to everybody just again? Thank you. So I have a quick PowerPoint that I'm just going to share with you as I talk and as we engage in conversation, because there are just some things that I want to make sure that we capture on today. And can the team put it up? Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. And yes. So I want to you heard my bio, but I want to just share a little bit more about my story, what goes into making me who I am, and why I'm here at this moment in time with all of you, and how we are connected in the purpose that we have yet to fulfill in this community and around the world. So I want to start with this quote from the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And I think it's important because it's part of the speeches that I've continued to make as I think about the times that we're living in. And this is the quote that comes from his last book that he wrote. Where do we go from here? Chaos or community? And I think that's a very prescient question even today in 2023. Chaos or community. We continue to see so many external factors that are impacting individuals, families, and communities. We continue to hear on the news the not just good news, but a lot of bad news. And we continue to feel at this moment in time that there's so much swirling around us that sometimes we can feel as if we are living in times that are out of control. But I want to suggest to you that we live in this world house. And it's a house where it says a widely separated family inherits a house in which they have to live together. This is the great new problem of mankind. We have inherited a large house, a great world house in which we have to live together. Black and white, Easterner and Westerner, Gentile and Jew, Catholic and Protestant, Muslim and Hindu. A family unduly separated in ideas, culture, and interests because we can never again live apart. We must learn somehow to live with each other, and this is the key part, in peace. So this notion of this inherited world house is so resonant today, and that we have to continue to look at our neighbors and understand what is the plight of our neighbor, what are they feeling and experiencing, how am I connected to my neighbor, and how can I work together with my neighbor. So when we talk about collective impact, I want to share a little bit about some reflections of our network, the work here being done in Suncoast, and how we can work together. And so as Jessica mentioned, my pathway is that I started this notion of being a global citizen at a really young age. And the reason is because my parents were both active in the civil rights era, working with Dr. Martin Luther King in the 60s. My dad was the 5th Black chaplain in the history of the United States Navy. So the majority of my life has been around the military and on military bases. Again, this notion of wanting to serve not only the community, but to serve our country. And then I had the opportunity, as Jessica mentioned, to serve on active duty. In fact, my last court-martial as an active duty JAG was at MacDill Air Force Base. And I was sharing that after that last court-martial closed, I changed clothes out of my uniform and ran downtown here to interview with the U.S. Attorney's Office and got the job. And so left the military. They didn't want me to leave active duty, but then moved from DC down here to Tampa to serve in the U.S. Attorney's Office. And I have to say, I was telling the team here that the old federal courthouse, which is now a hotel, gave me the creeps, because it's like I'm staying in a hotel where I used to prosecute people. I mean, I'm not speaking against the lovely hotel. I'm just saying, I was like, ooh. Anyway, it's good to be back in Tampa. And I will also just say that I cannot find my way around this city to save my life. Everything has changed so much. But I also had the pleasure continuing on my journey of serving community, serving my country, serving at YMCA, working at Easter Seals. And Joanne, one of my former Easter Seals board members, is here today. But then also now being here with this wonderful organization. So we have this opportunity, and I seize this opportunity to be a leader because of this fierce urgency of now that I feel. And I hope you feel this fierce sense of urgency as well. Times are moving so quickly. Every time you look up, you're in a new year, and you're saying, where did the time go? We also see so many needs and gaps in community. When I visited my colleagues here in Suncoast and around this part of Florida and looked at the aftermath of Hurricane Ian and asking, what are the most pressing needs that you all are seeing? I hear the stories about the fact that there's no affordable housing. I hear the stories about the fact that wages are staying pretty much the same. I hear the fact that there are more and more people coming in the country, into the state, but that may need assistance, that the gap between the haves and the have-nots continues to grow, that there is a need to really continue to invest in early childhood education or access to healthcare, and on and on and on. But the time is now for us to come together to solve for some of these very pressing issues. And so what I love about United Way is that we are a system of 1,100 local United Ways. We cover 95% of the United States, and we're operating in 37 countries. That signifies a powerful network, an opportunity where we, partnering alongside you, your companies, and others, can really have a tremendous impact because of our colleagues like Jessica and her team. They're neighbors. They're your neighbors. They live in the community. They understand what is happening real time. And that's unlike any other nonprofit. No one has the scope and scale of United Way. And so every time that we continue to work together and make moves to improve our communities, it's exponential. And so we have to continue to do things like what the United Way Suncoast is doing. They have a strategic plan underway. It underscores the point that we're creating this big, huge United Way table. And at this table are you and I. But there are still people and voices that are missing, that are not at our table yet. And we have an obligation to invite them to the table. It's the people that are having the lived experience of food and not having enough food. It's the people with the lived experience of having a disability, or the people with the lived experience of not being able to access health care and or affordable housing, and on and on and on. And it's important that we tap into representing the Tampa community and the nearly 30,000 community partners that we have at United Way Worldwide across the globe. And one of the things that I want to say is that we come into communities not as saviors, but as partners. And that's crucial, because as I look at the work, our mission statement, which I love, which is to improve lives by mobilizing the caring power of communities around the world. That ties into this vision statement. And whenever you're a new CEO, people say, what's your vision? Well, this is it. We envision a world where communities have delivered equitable solutions to achieve lasting change. And we do that by these strategic imperatives that support the vision. And so as we're continuing to build a unique model of service focused on shaping an equitable future in partnership with communities around the world, we're putting together some rigor behind it in these three areas: developing community solutions. Suncoast, if you look at their website, has some great data and information about what's happening real time in this community. Is something that if you ever wonder how people are doing, you can find out by going on their website. And of course, we want to build network resilience within United Way, because again, we're 135 years old. And guess what? We need to be around for yet another 100 years, and looking at what does it take to position ourselves to remain sustainable, impactful, and relevant. And finally, strategic insights. Well, thank you for that. Thank you. And so we see, again, when I think about the fierce urgency of now, how fast things are happening around, how external things are impacting our communities. Again, go back to Hurricane Ian and the disaster recovery efforts that are needed, being able to position United Ways to continue to be here, not just for the short term in taking the 211 calls, but being here for the long term in terms of the rebuilding efforts and making sure that the Tampa community and surrounding communities are resilient. That's what's important. And that's why we continue to work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days of the year. And that's why I am so pleased to be a part of this wonderful organization that is incredibly responsive. I continue to not do well with this thing. But, here's something I want to say about and applaud this community. And that is that we have philanthropists like Mackenzie Scott, who is really changing the landscape of philanthropy. And she's really leaning in to say, I trust the local leaders to do what needs to be done for their communities. And so as we continue to garner the attention of Mackenzie Scotts of the world, foundations, corporations, and others, we have the ability to really rely on our system and our network to do even more and greater work. Galvanizing partners is so incredibly important. And so we know that all of us in this room understand that the Tampa community needs the resources to continue to build resiliency. Tampa's not going anywhere. The surrounding communities are not going anywhere. So what can we do, United Way, to partner with each of you in this room to lean in to building this resiliency, to lean in to create systems of sustainability? That's what we want to do in support of your community. And we need to do this in partnership with you. We need to make sure that we are including the voices that are currently not being heard. We need to make sure that those that are receiving the supports and services that we offer have an opportunity to co-create with us the solutions for the problems that they face. So we're here because we have critical work to do. And we need to remember that for 135 years, United Way has been a leading voice in the community of caring and local impact. We see a need in our communities and we want to continue to respond. We operate with passion, clear-eyed commitment, and an understanding that there are abundant resources available to honor and to support our mission. The caring community must include United Way. We have the know-how, the grit, and the determination to get it done. So I just want to say to all of you, thank you for being here. Thank you for making it your intent that I'm going to come back, even though Hurricane Ian disrupted us a few months ago. You said, I still want to come back and support United Way. That says so much. It speaks volumes to how you care about our community. It speaks volumes about your partnership with United Way Suncoast. And again, I just want to applaud each and every one of you for who you are, for what you're doing, and most importantly, your heart for caring for your neighbor. So thank you for allowing me to be here to speak with you. Bless you.
All right, can we hear it one more time for Miss Angela Williams? You, my friend, are an inspiration. Thank you. Thank you, because I think Angela's speech and what you saw there in the slides and the storytelling really brings it home, the fact that this is an organization that over the years has continued to build on a credibility because they have the receipts to show for their work. They're driven by purpose and they're driven by impact. And you see it there, but don't take it from us. Take it from the very neighbors and friends in our community who are seeing the impact of the United Way Suncoast's work. As many of you know, United Way Suncoast helps its ALICE families by focusing on early learning, youth success, and financial stability. These are initiatives that have been branded United We Learn, United We Grow, and United We Thrive. In this presentation, you're about to see, created by Mad Bear Productions, the stories of Shanice and Samir, Cortez, and Michelle will help you understand that all three of these concepts are really interconnected, and that United Way Suncoast strives to create a path to success for the next generation.
Helped me become a better parent.
Got me moving. It got my future moving.
Feels good to know that I have somebody to care about me.
Who is R.I.S.E? Hardworking families that stand one unexpected expense away from dire circumstances. They lean on us for support, and we lean on them for inspiration. And it often begins with early learning.
Samir is very independent, very energetic.
You did it!
The United Way program helped me to manage how I parent Samir, taking those good components out of the program, and he's using those even when I'm not around. So I'm very proud of him for that. Definitely for Samir, it has been life-changing. For me, it's It's been a big eye-opener. I know it's going to set him up for success.
The goal is clear: for Samir to have what he needs to grow, succeed, and read on level by 3rd grade. And from there, his path continues. And it could look like this.
When you get to middle school, it's not anymore playing. You're gonna have to focus. That's where it all starts.
We give kids career exploration opportunities as early as the 5th grade. And we give kids exposure to see what some of those careers look like.
And they encourage us on what we need to do to get to that goal. And not everybody's gonna ask you questions like that. They care about your future here.
To ensure youth success, their path of support is guided by who they are and the challenges that they face. The goal is to help them thrive as an adult.
When I applied for the scholarship, I honestly had my doubts. I didn't believe that someone like me, someone my age, would be able to get something like that. Even though it's something small, it was the biggest thing for me. United Way Suncoast helped me see where I can go and what I can do to get there, giving me the resources that I needed. They gave us some skills on how to start our credit for even when we want to buy a home or we want to buy a car or we want to be able to provide for our families in the future. It feels awesome. Every chance I get, I tell everyone, yeah, I work at Baycare, I work at St. Joseph North, and being able to do what I love and being able to help people is just a dream come true, to be honest.
We've shown you an example of one path. Think of United Way Suncoast as a thread across 5 counties that weaves together an embrace, a hand, a smile, and when needed, a dose of hope. Oh, that video is so inspiring, and it makes me realize that it's a fundamental right and the most honorable cause of our steadfast commitment. The core of United Way Suncoast is the freedom to rise. We sever the constraints that prevent families from thriving. We dismantle barriers to human prosperity, elevating and enlightening our community along the way. We provide pathways to early learning, financial stability, and youth success that help individuals and families rise above the circumstantial constraints that have been put upon them. Now, of course, this sounds like an almost insurmountable endeavor, considering the fact that even from our own R.I.S.E data, we know that 45% of our region is struggling to make ends meet. And I'm sure you might be wondering, some of you in this room, well, who is R.I.S.E? R.I.S.E stands for Asset Limited, Income Constrained, Employed. These are families and individuals earning above the federal poverty line, but not able to afford a basic household budget. We also know that R.I.S.E is not a one-size-fits-all threshold. In fact, some groups are more likely to be R.I.S.E, which is why it's incredibly important for us to focus and tailor our work in ways that make sure that we reach those who need our support and service the most. The last 3 years have played the same tapes: disruption and response, disruption and response. And I know everybody in this room agrees that we have been living through some of the most unprecedented times in recent history. But thankfully, United Way is used to stepping up in a crisis. In fact, when COVID arrived at our doorsteps, we immediately sprung into action, raising nearly $2 million in a matter of weeks and getting 100% of that out to the door in our communities. As we always do, we partner with our nonprofit partners, funding 75 organizations, serving nearly 1 million people at the height of the crisis. But we didn't stop there. In the middle of COVID, we launched an inclusive and comprehensive strategic planning process because we knew that we wanted to embrace the challenges that we were facing today and prepare for those tailwinds that we wanted to experience, while making sure that equity was at the core of everything that we did, so that we could be prepared to emerge from this even stronger. And then I received the phone call from philanthropist, Mackenzie Scott, who said she believed so much in our mission, our vision, our impact, that she wanted to give us $20 million. Unbelievable. And that couldn't have come at a better time when our region needed us to step up once more to tackle the housing affordability crisis. In the first 6 months alone of our work and initiatives with so many of our nonprofit partners, we helped more than 2,000 people, helping to keep 89% of them either in their homes or finding new and sustainable housing. And then, of course, came Hurricane Ian. And once again, we locked arms with our partners to help and to respond to those communities who were devastated by this crisis. And we are still working today to make sure that we are implementing those long-term recovery efforts. This is a lot. And we could not do any of this without our most important asset at United Way Suncoast, and that is our team. Sure, our strategy and brand are very important, but we have spent a lot of time and effort in strengthening and elevating our culture. In fact, when I joined United Way Suncoast in November of 2019, our eNPS score, which is a measure of satisfaction, was a minus 46.5. We transformed that to a plus 29 in 1 year and have sustained that. I just want to say thank you so much to my teammates who are in this room today for all that you do and how you show up every single day for our region and community. So if you are a company looking to have positive change, we have the answer. If you want to provide pathways to financial stability and opportunities, we have the answer. If you want to help a child learn to read on grade level, we have the answer. We have the answer because rallying companies and citizens for greater good is not new to us. In fact, all we need to do is look at the $13 million that we invest annually in partnerships with our nonprofit partners, as well as our direct service initiatives. We fund nearly 100 nonprofit organizations that helps to serve over 174,000 people every single year. And this year we said we wanted to make sure that we were doing more. We wanted sustainability in that commitment. We wanted to deepen those partnerships, which is why we committed $18 million over the next 3 years, because we know working alongside our nonprofit partners, the challenges we're tackling aren't solved in 1 year increments. So how do we do all of this? Well, first, through the power of unity. We have that unique strength of bringing and convening organizations, businesses, individuals together so that we can lift up our community. Individually, we are strong, but connected in teamwork and collaboration, we are unstoppable. And then we talk about the impact of scale. We have the precise ability to leverage our regional footprint and working with our network of partners to untangle the most complex issues and crises in our community. And then we have the strength of history. Our vantage point of serving this region for nearly 100 years as a community problem solver gives us a distinct vantage point for success. But we are also continually evolving, making sure that we are meeting those ever-changing needs of the neighborhoods and the individuals that we continue to serve. When a community need becomes pervasive, we meet it. When a vital opportunity begs for existence, we create it. United, we build better lives. And radical transparency. This is so important to us because we want to make sure that our community knows about the impact that we're having. And we work alongside our nonprofit partners to share data and to provide context to the issues that we're tackling, like the housing affordability crisis and our child care crisis dashboards that you see here. And we want to make sure that we are inspired and encouraged by the courage and the experience of those that we're serving. We want to make sure that we are lifting up their stories and lived experiences while also shining a spotlight on those nonprofit and community leaders who are making such a positive difference in our communities. And finally, our place-based initiatives. We are present in communities, serving specific neighborhoods of need, walking alongside, standing shoulder to shoulder, creating solutions to help improve their lives, building that network of trust that they can count on. So what I'm saying is we have the answer because we've always had the answer. Collaboration is in our name, community is in our roots, care is in our DNA, and equity is our guide star. So as I'm telling all of you this morning, and I want to thank every single one of you for being here, if you are a company looking to match action with words, we have the answer. If you are a volunteer who wants to create lasting impact, we have the answer. If you are a donor looking for a forthright steward of your dollars, we have the answer. All we need is for you to stand with us, to give of your time, your treasure, your talents, as so many of you have done over the last few years, and for that, we are tremendously grateful. And as we say every day at United Way, united we rise, united we win. Thank you.
All right, everybody, let's hear it one more time. It's Jessica Muroff with the why behind why we're here. And if we haven't said this enough, I'm going to say it again. None of this, none of that impact, all of it, it couldn't be possible without you sitting here today, without your corporate donations, without your campaigns throughout the year, your donations, your one-offs, your volunteer time, all of this. So if there's one thing that we ask that you take away with you today, what's your why? What's your why, right? You see all of the work that they're doing. For me, it's making sure that another kid doesn't grow up like me, having to be afraid of repo guys, taking your stuff in the morning, focusing on schoolwork and not on the fear of losing what little you have. When your parents have to work 2 and 3 jobs and that's not enough. That's my why. What is your why? If anything you heard here today touched you, listen, if you want to learn more, that QR code right on your table, you can donate right there. You can learn more about United Way. Take this to work, share the word about the great work of United Way. And again, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you for being here, for supporting this organization and the great work they're doing in our community. I want to give it one more time and thank you to Angela Williams for being here with us today, the CEO of United Way. To the United Way Suncoast team putting all of this together, thank you. And to all of you, I hope you have a blessed, wonderful day. Thank you for spending your morning with us. Have a good one.